Hey guys, Working Man's Reads here, checking in on a Friday. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody for getting me past that 50 subscribers mark. That was actually, when I first started, I'm like, if 50 people watch my videos, then actually I can make some connections over here and make some friends, then I've done it, you know what I mean? And well, I guess I got to change my goal because I reached it. So I want to thank everybody and all the warm welcome that I've gotten so far. So I'm here doing actually the horror book life tag. I actually saw Brad Proctor do it this morning when I checked out my phone, and I was like, that's an awesome one. I think Marie McWiliams started it, so I'm going to look that up and tag her down below and Brad's video for you guys. But the first question is, what was the first horror movie you remember seeing? Well, when I was young, like 5 or 6, my mom had her, well, it was actually my grandmother. She videotaped all these old westerns for me. Like, I would grow up watching like Clint Eastwood and John Wayne. And in between, there was this commercial for Hellraiser that would happen over and over and over again. And I never did watch this movie because it has stuck with me for my entire life. I'm like terrified of it. And I'm sure it's great, or it sucks. I have no idea, never really want to find out, but so I haven't watched it, but I watched the trailer, and I like stopped watching the westerns because I was terrified of it. So that's kind of what started me down the path, and then now I just like conquering my fear, you know. But the one that I first watched all the way through would be Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. That movie just sticks with me because of Jack and yeah, he just terrifies me. When he is throwing the ball against the wall and the kids are outside playing, or the kid is outside playing, he's just throwing, just terrifying. Or when he's just staring. That movie just gets me. The cinema, like just the way it was filmed, and just creepy. So, and then number 2 is, what was the first horror book that you remember reading? Well, this one's cool. I actually share this in common with Brad. I read the Goosebumps book. I actually remember books. I think the one that sticks in my head the most was the one where the boy turns into a werewolf. Cannot remember the name of that one, but that one just sticks in my head, and I just remember loving it. R.L. Stine is actually kind of like a classic. Like he is a beast, yeah, of writing kids literature. Also, this Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I always love the artwork in these. Like, that's almost more terrifying than the stories, obviously. So those pictures are creepy for you know, middle grade, whatever that would be considered. Number 3, what is the movie that made you a horror fan? Well, I kind of can probably answer The Shining for most of that. That one really, I just was like, I should probably read this guy's books, this Stephen King gentleman. I should probably check his stuff out, and that's kind of how it started. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say The Shining. Yeah, and then I was like, let's pick up the book and read that and see if it's the same, or, you know, what's this reading stuff about? So I checked that out, and the rest is history. Most of these answers, like most of us horror fans, can be Stephen King, so I'm going to try to work my way around that and answer with some other authors, you know. But so number 4, what is the book that made you a horror fan? It's Stephen King. I mean, I picked up, after The Shining, I picked up Pet Sematary, and I actually reread this recently, like when I first had my daughter, and it hit me even harder, because if you've read this, you know, like, just everything that goes on in the story. I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, that's not what this video is about, but Pet Sematary, man, this guy's a genius. So it made me just, now I'm reading indie authors and all different kinds of people, and it really broadened my horizons. So thank you, Stephen King. You're the man. I'm going to try to read more and more and more, and then maybe someday I can redo this tag and have different answers, but Stephen King started it all for me. So number 5, what is your favorite horror movie of all time? I actually like Halloween. Those are sweet. My wife and my father-in-law, we actually went and seen the most recent one, and it was just cool, like the nostalgia of it, and him just, he's so ominous, and the music, and that theme song, that song hits like so crazy, especially in Halloween time, you know what I mean? dun, 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 or whatever it is. So that score is to die for. That thing can creep you out for sure. And Brad, I learned something today. If you're watching this, I appreciate you telling me about the mask. That was pretty cool. So I won't spoil that because you should go watch Brad's video to find out. But number 6, what is your favorite horror book? Let's go outside of the box and not say an obvious Stephen King one. I would say Edward Norton, Bayes-End. He kind of, his horror, I mean, he's a great horror author, don't get me wrong, but look at that cover, it's pretty sweet. But I think this is even signed, yeah, to Joshua. Yeah, so E, yeah, I'd say I love his stuff. He's kind of what got me into doing Booktube, and I do love his work. And sometimes it's more of a dark, horrific fiction, I'd say. It's his stuff is good. He's really good literary. Like I appreciate it. I appreciate his work. So I'm gonna go there and not say The Stand or something like that. So number 7, a favorite horror trope. I like like the coming of age stuff. You know, like It and Bayes-End. It's kind of a coming of age. Chad Luskey's got a couple coming of age stories. I just like that. That's probably my favorite. Or in horror movies when there's like a whole group of teenagers and you just know everybody's gonna die. I appreciate that too. So number 8, why do you love horror? And this is a great question because this is actually probably why I've started writing horror and everything like that. I think the opportunities are endless. There's so many different ways you can go with a story. It's not orcs and elves and things like that. Not that I love fantasy, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can see above me that I love fantasy, but I do find that a lot of the tropes in fantasy, I mean, there's only so far you can go with the story. In a horror, you can go anywhere. You can do anything. You can go dark, or you can go not so dark, or somewhere in the middle, or there can be creatures like vampires and werewolves and, you know, whatever, chupacabras or big, you know, Bigfoot or whatever you want to write about. So I just love it. I love horror, and that's why I've kind of started this channel. I like talking to people that I agree with. And if you made it this far, though, that was the horror life tag. Why do I keep saying book tag in the middle of there? But whatever. Cheers. I hope everybody's staying safe out there. I had a pretty boring day at work. I watched a lot of stand-up comedy. But birthday celebrations this weekend with the wife. So hope everybody's staying safe. It looks like it's going to be a thunderstorm here in New York. It's humid as all get out. I'm actually sweating. So I hope everybody has a great day, great weekend. Thanks again for the 50K or 50 subscribers. 50K. Oh my God, that would be like big time. I'd have to be way better at this. Have a great day, guys. Cheers.